So in this video, I'm gonna teach you how to create a relationship with your ego. Instead of killing your ego, I'm gonna teach you how to create a relationship with it and why it's better if you create a relationship with it. We gotta understand that how the ego was created in the first place, right? So the ego was created to protect us. When we were younger, we probably didn't feel safe, so we had to create an identity, an image, or a persona, and we put that persona in front of us, between us and reality, between us and our parents, between us and the world. So we stay in the background, and then that persona is in between us and our experiences. So over time, we forget that the persona, the ego that we created, is not us. We forgot that it's not us, and it was a defense mechanism. So we're all the way in the back. So eventually, when you start to heal and you start to become very self-aware, and you start to understand your triggers and how certain things are manifesting in your life, if you are not aware of it, you won't be able to stop it or change your life. You know what I'm saying? So I have a story. Today I'm at work, right? And there's this manager. There's 4 managers, but there's this one particular manager, and she got this energy. Everywhere I go, I meet someone with this energy. Because I was traumatized and, I had traumas when I was younger, I couldn't stand up for myself. So everywhere I go, I would attract people that walk over me, that feel like they can use power struggle. They want to take advantage of their authority and walk over me. So every job that I go, there will always be 1 or 2 people. Everywhere that I go in life, there would always be someone that, but it's because within myself, there wasn't any boundary. So that allows someone, my true self never stepped forward. So there was space within me for someone to step forward and place their energy. You get what I'm saying? So this particular manager, she was trying to control me in a way where I realized that, whoa, I understand if I'm doing something wrong in a job, say I'm doing something wrong, but then there's a line. There's a line of when someone is just trying to control you. So she said something to me about she went overboard. So I went to another manager. I'm like, this is the 5th time she did this, she did that. And the next time she do it, I'm going to speak up. So I was there working. She came, hey, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, so I did this. She's like, no. So I stepped to her. I'm like, listen. Then she started walking away. I'm like, okay, yeah, walk away. Walk away. So I went back now, and I went back to the girl. She came back to me. I'm like, listen. See, if you can't speak to me like an adult. She's like, I don't speak to you. You hear me speak to you? I don't talk to you. I'm like, listen. If you can't speak to me like an adult, have someone else address me. And then she started denying, going off. She started going off in a way in a way pessimistic, in a way passive aggressive way. So I'm like, I start being direct and precise. I'm like, did I make myself clear? Have someone else address me. As from now on, have someone else address me. And then I look at her. I'm like, look. She wasn't even looking in my eyes. So I point to my eyes. I'm like, look at me. Did I make myself clear? Yo, you should have seen her face, bro. You should have seen her face. But before that happened, right? The ego, remember, I got control over myself now. But the ego is still there within me. That part of you that is want to fight to protect you. Yo, don't let that person disrespect you. And then that part of you in your brain that's going to be fucking shit. And, that want to let you argue back and forth. That part of you. So I'm like, I feel it start to come forth within me. So I start speaking to it. I'm like, hey, it's okay. I'm safe. I got this. I'll take care of it. I appreciate you. Thank you. I love you. Thank you for protecting me. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for protecting me all these years. I appreciate you. And then now, my inner child could come forth. You get what I'm saying? But just know, if you want to take control over that inner part of you that will argue with others when they disrespect you, you have to start standing up for yourself. And you have to speak to that part of you like it's an actual person. You get what I'm saying? So basically, what you're going to do is you're going to be like, hey, I got you. It's okay. I got this. I'll take care of it. Thank you. Thank you for taking care of me. Because remember, this is the part of you that's defensive. This is the part of you that's been protecting you this whole time. So it's not just gonna stop when you take control. It's going to need to realize that it can trust you. So you have to give it time to trust you, and then eventually it will fall in the background, and now you can step forward. But when you're stepping forward, now you have to step forward and take up your space. You have to take up your space. So when you walk into a room, let your presence be known. Take up your space, because people will walk over you. And you know one thing I learned too? It happened 5 times, and the fourth, I went to another manager for 4 times, and none of them did anything about it. It happened 5 times, and 4 times out of the 5, I went up to the managers, and none of them did anything about it. They spoke to her, but nothing came to pass until I stand up for myself. So it's okay. So I look at everything as energy, right? So because within my energy field, I didn't fully take up my space. So it allowed her energy to feel as if she can push her energy on me. But the thing is, she wanted power. She's struggling with power. Why? Because in her personal life, this is the manager that I'm talking about. In her personal life, she doesn't have control. She is powerless in some aspect of her life. So she feels as if coming to work, that's the best way she can find someone that is so in their shell that she can control. And so I realized that. So I'm like, even though I understand that and I feel sorry for her, I know I'm more powerful. I know I'm more superior. It doesn't matter if she's a manager. I know I'm more powerful, and I know I'm more superior. But I'm like, I'm not going to let her walk over me, because what's happening right now is everyone is watching her. You get what I'm saying? And they watching how she treated. Everyone watching her, and they watching how she treated me. And that's going to dictate how they start to treat me. So I had to use her as an example to set the stage so other people know, yo, don't mess with me, because I'm not a walkover. I'm not a pushover. You get what I'm saying? So now, hey, everyone now is standing up for me. Everyone is respecting me. Why? Because I stand up for myself. I didn't care that she was a manager. I was willing to walk away and lose the job, and not from a standpoint of pride. I knew I was right, and she was crossing a boundary. I knew I was right, and she was crossing a boundary. She was taking advantage of her position as a manager to have power control, because basically what had happened was she was just standing there walking around, and this other worker said something to me. So I went over to where she had and was listening. She's like, hey, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yo. So I say this to say this, man. That ego that was created to protect you from a child, in order to get rid of it, you can't fight it away. You can't kill it. You can't just dismiss something that was created to protect you. You have to create a relationship with it, so it know that, okay, it can trust you to protect yourself now. Look at that ego like a parent that loves you so much that would do anything to protect the inner child. Because that's exactly what the ego was created, to protect your inner child. So once now the inner child, the adult, which is you, can protect the inner child, the ego will step back. But you have to show it that, hey, you will stand up for yourself. You have to show it that you have what it takes to protect yourself. You have to show it that you have what it takes to love on yourself. You get what I'm saying? So the ego, yes, it can be bad. Yes, it can be good. But it just wants to trust you, and eventually it will fall back. It will fall back in the background. So that voice in your head, when someone try to disrespect you, that start to cuss them out, that is the ego. That is the part of you that would have taken control over you in the past. But now it slowly start to go from outside, where you're fighting with people, to inside, where now you're cussing in your head, to then you can speak to it. Speak to the ego. Speak to that voice in your head and be like, hey, it's okay. I got this. Thank you. I love you. Talk to me. Why do you feel the way you feel? You can speak to it. Speak to it and talk to it. Why do you feel the way you feel? And why did that upset you? Get what I'm saying? Like, it's another person. I promise you, it's going to talk to you. Because it is not you. It's an entity. It's an entity that you created. So it's not gonna just die off like that. It's still gonna be there. But you can either snap into it, or you can snap out of it and speak to it. I hope this video bless you. Peace.